What if I told you the man who made your morning latte a global ritual once watched his father lose everything from a simple injury? No insurance, no job security, no backup plan. This isn't just a story about coffee. This is about turning pain into power, scarcity into scale, and building a $100 billion brand with no money, no connections, and every odd stacked against you. His name, Howard Schultz, the man who built Starbucks and a legacy. But here's the real question. How did he go from broke in Brooklyn to one of the most respected billionaires on earth? And what can you learn from his journey to build your own version of wealth, freedom, and legacy? Stick around to the end, because there's one principle Howard used that most 20-somethings completely ignore, and it just might change your life. Act 1. The pain that built a billionaire. Howard Schultz was born in 1953 in the Canarsie-Bayview housing projects of Brooklyn, New York. His father was a truck driver, his mother a homemaker. One day, his dad slipped on ice, broke his ankle, and lost his job. Just like that, the family was drowning. No benefits, no savings, just shame. Howard remembered it for the rest of his life, not just the poverty, but the powerlessness. That moment planted a seed. "I didn't want to be poor anymore," he said, "not just financially, but emotionally, generationally." Let me ask you something. If your family lost it all tomorrow, would your job still pay you next week? If not, you might have more in common with Howard than you think. He knew he had to escape, so he hustled his way into college on a football scholarship, first in his family to attend, not because he loved football, but because it was the only way out. Nights, he worked odd jobs. Weekends, sold his own blood to buy textbooks. And yet, his story didn't begin with football. It began with a cup of coffee. He didn't even drink yet. Act 2. The coffee that changed everything. In 1981, Howard was working at a Swedish kitchenware company, just a mid-level sales guy, until he noticed one small cafe in Seattle placing massive orders for drip coffee makers. That cafe? Starbucks. Back then, it didn't serve lattes or cappuccinos, just beans, just retail, just potential. Intrigued, Howard flew out to see it. And what he felt walking into that tiny store was energy, passion, community. Within a year, he joined the company. But the real turning point came on a business trip to Milan, Italy. There, he saw espresso bars on every corner, places where people gathered, connected, not just to drink, but to belong. That's when it hit him. Coffee wasn't just a product. It was an experience, a ritual, a third place between work and home. Let's be real. When's the last time a coffee changed your life? Started his own coffee chain, Il Giornale. He needed $1.6 million in funding. He got rejected 217 times. Rejected 217 times. Most people would have quit. Howard? He said, "I only need one yes." And eventually he got it. What he did next would change Starbucks and the world. Act 3. Building a brand with soul. In 1987, Howard bought Starbucks outright. The company had just 6 stores. But with his vision, espresso bars, human connection, global experience, it exploded. By 2000, 3,500 stores. Today, over 38,000. But here's the thing. Schultz wasn't just building a brand. He was building meaning. He introduced health benefits for part-time workers, gave employees stock, called them partners, not staff. Why? Because he remembered what it felt like to be invisible, to be poor and powerless. Starbucks became a symbol of more than caffeine. It became a company with a conscience. And when things got messy, He didn't run. In 2008, during the financial crisis, Schultz returned as CEO. Like a Marvel hero, minus the cape, plus a coffee cup. Starbucks was failing. So what did he do? Shut down every U.S. store. For training. Lost millions in one day. Why? To protect quality. To rebuild trust. Because real leaders don't just chase growth, they preserve the soul. Act 4. Legacy Mode. Howard Schultz made billions, but he says his greatest investment wasn't Starbucks. It was time. Time spent compounding trust, compounding culture, compounding purpose. Most people overestimate what they can do in 6 months and underestimate what they can do in 6 years. Billionaires play the long game because time, when invested right, is the ultimate leverage. Howard didn't chase quick wins, he chased legacy. His message to the next generation? Clarity about who you want to become is where real success begins. So ask yourself, who are you becoming? Because building wealth isn't about hacks, trends, or hustle porn. It's about vision, discipline, and the patience to build something that lasts. Howard Schultz didn't come from privilege. He didn't start with millions. He started with a decision to break the cycle, to bet on himself, and to use his pain as fuel. If you're between 18 and 30, this is your golden window. You have time. The most valuable asset in wealth creation, but only if you learn how to use it. Want to know the secret behind how billionaires like Schultz grow wealth without chasing trends? If this video on the screen, tap it now to dive into the power of compounding, because the best time to start growing your wealth was yesterday. The next best time is right now.